Hello everyone. Welcome to Max 9 tutorial number 27, Jitter Video Player. And that's really intro to Jitter 2. In the last video we learned how to play a video, and then I decided we would just move on to making like a cool video player. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a video player that we can stick in any of our remaining objects for, you know, the next few projects if we happen to be working on video. And we do happen to be working on video during this class. So here's where we were. We had put a play bar in here. We can, we can lock with Patcher. We can play a movie. And look, there come the chickens. We can make it go backwards a little. We can tell it to palindrome. We can just have it go through once. Oh, life is good. And we can loop it. You may recall that we had gotten the movie path last time so that we could find all the movies. And we used this. Now, when we're using the play bar, it says seek notify up here. Really, essentially, this message is really no longer good for anything. So my thought is, let's get rid of it. But we're not going to get rid of it. We're going to reuse it. So let's take it down here and delete that. And what we'll do instead here is we'll put an open dialog. So wherever we want to go in the future, we can go ahead and go there. You know what I'm saying? Open dialog, and then type in here folder. So that way it'll always open a folder, and then the folder will pre-populate. You get the idea. Now, we don't necessarily want to use this. I'm going to put a bang button on top of it because that's what you use to start this. And here, I'll just show you how it works. There it is. So if you hit this button, you decide to open a folder. Look, oh, here's some Max 9 projects. Oh, 3. Oh my goodness, that was so long ago. Oh, but it wants to open the whole folder. And then you go ahead, you say open, and it says where that is. Now, we could be looking for videos or whatever. I'm just showing you what this does. We're not going to use it right now. We're going to keep this for our video player. But now we have a thing that can go open any, it can open any folder and load videos. So that's going to be handy. So what would we like to be able to do with our movie? And it seems to me that one of the things that would be nice would be to be able to go fast and slow. And to do that, we're going to type an N, and we're going to type slider, and click over here, and this will be, let's just say, our speed slider for today. So we're going to click on this. Now, what we're going to do is whatever comes out of this, we're going to prepend it. We're going to tell jit.movie that that's going to be the rate. So we'll want to be able to go from backwards to forward. So let's say twice fast backwards to twice fast forward. That would be a range of 4 coming over here. 4.0, just to make sure that it's a float. Float means a decimal, and then we're going to say float output also. Okay, so it has a range of 4, but that means that the output has to be -2. -2.0. I just put the point zeros in because I'm a chicken, I guess. So there we go. So now it can go from, well, let's put a float box below it, F, and make sure of what this thing does. I don't know why I always make everything neat. So I'm locking my patcher here, and then we see that somewhere around the middle is 0, somewhere around 2/3 is about 1, so that's going to end up being normal speed, and then we can go to twice as fast. If you want to make it 3 times as fast, be my guest. I'm just going -2 to +2. Now there's an interesting thing here that I'll get to in a second. Hold on. So now we're going to say up here, a new object, typing it in, prepend rate. Right, and we'll hook that right up to the jit.movie, and we'll hook this up to the rate, and then I'm going to say Command Y to that thing so I can move it neatly over to the side, because I love neatness. And let's see what happens when we lock this and we go ahead and play this thing. There's the chicken, go, go, go. Now it's like, are they going twice as fast? It's so hard to tell with chickens. Let's make them go backwards. Come on, chickens. They're going backwards. Twice as fast. You know, I think it might be necessary to go to that 3 times thing. I'm willing to do it if you're willing. Okay, here we go. Unlocking the patcher. Grab this, go over here. That would make our range 3 to 3. That's a total of 6. 6.0. Just, you know. And then that, of course, means that the output minimum is going to be -3. So it's a good thing I didn't show you the other thing that I'm about to show you now. So now we can go to 3 times as fast. We lock our patcher. Off we go. 3 times as fast. Look at those chickens go. Look at those chickens go. Backwards. I can't actually pretend I'm talking backwards. There we go. Okay. So probably, does it not seem that we should have like a normalize on this that tells it to go to the right speed? So here's a funny thing. You'd think you could just type a message in here that would be 1 and it would go 1. But no, it will not. It will go 1 plus whatever the minimum number is for this, which is -3. So to make this thing go 1, we have to send a 4 in the top. Does that make sense to everybody here? We're going to put a message here that's 4.0. And that's going to be our standard play speed. Just for when things get out of control, you can hit this and it goes to, see the 1 there? So if you enter a 4 in the top of the slider, it adds 3 to the -3 and then another 1, 4 to get back, 3 to get back to 0, and then 1 more to get to moving forward at 1. Great. All right. We now have speed control. One of the other things that I think we need to do is actually get rid of this play bar, because we want a little tiny bit more accuracy. I know it seems almost weird, but we can do all of this stuff with a with actual controls. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just delete this play bar and get on with it. Maybe we'll just make the controls right now. RR, that's for reverse. I don't know why I thought that. And then we have pause, which is sometimes just 2 uprights. I'm going to go capital I, M, and then capital I, because it'll look like a space bar, a pause bar. Okay, there's our, but now I have to center it. Oh gosh darn it. It's so hard to fake stuff. We'll just push this in the center. There we go. We'll make it bold, and then it'll look like, there we go, look at that. Doesn't that look like a little pause button? I like it. There's our pause button. You know, we don't need a reverse. We have a speed slider here. That's just silly. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to have pause. We're going to have play. Did I double click on that? There. Play. No, I like them in caps. Play. And stop. That's all we need. Okay, so when you hit play, it needs to send a message. Max is particular about this, so now you got to take undo your caps lock button if you're doing what I was doing and just type start. So not only, I was going to say it won't respond to play in capital letters, but it won't respond to play anyway because it's jit.movie and it needs the word start. So there's start, and when you hit play, it's going to hold on there. We have to work something out. But we're going to have another one that says stop. So it's all fine. Now this one, indeed, it would ignore this stop, but this one it won't because it has to have small letters. But I'll explain what I'm thinking here. So there's stop. Okay, pause. Pause could set this at 0, and then back to 4. Or you could just have play it's so confusing. We could just make play a toggle switch. Or why don't we just do this? We'll say when you hit play, it starts it playing, and it also makes it go 4. And then when you hit pause, it just blip, 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 bloom. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. See, it just took me a while. This is going to be so tricky. You're going to love it. So it's going to hit a toggle. And then the toggle's going to go to a select. Type new and then select 0 and 1. You guys see what I'm working on here? So in the 1 case, when it says 0, we want it to tell this thing to go to 0, which is really 3. Right? Of course it is. M, 3.0. 3.0 is the middle of our scale, remember? So it'll bang on that, and it'll make this stop. And then, if it hits a 1, it'll just go back to playing, so the 1 will bang on the 4. But my wish was actually, my wish was actually that it would resume the speed it was playing before. Oh my goodness. So much trickiness. How can we do that? See, this is already going to reset that. There's no way to do it. We'll just have to be content with doing it this way, and someday we'll think of another way to do it. Okay, so here we go. Let's check out our controls here. We have stop. Everybody stops. We have play. Everybody's going. We have pause. Oh, it should have selected 0 and hit the 3. Pause. Oh, the toggle's not responding to a pause. Got it. What do we need here? Oh, we need a trigger with a bang. Sometimes text confuses things. Like you'd think it would just trigger the toggle, but it won't. So when that happens, you can always just use trigger and bang, and it will always work because it can't help itself. There it is. There it is. Oh, except that this has to, because we want it to toggle back and forth. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Okay. Way more trouble than it's worth. We could just be hitting play on and off through a toggle too, for God's sake. There. Stopped. Now back on. Okay. Are we happy with that? We have to be happy with that. So play starts it over. And toggle stops it, starts it. Very good. All right, we've got that working. So we've got our rate all working. What else would we like to do with our little JIT movie thing? Well, one of the things that we could control with the play bar that we no longer can is the loop state of the JIT movie, by which I mean, is it going to just run through to the end and stop? Is it going to loop? And is it going to palindrome? Well, let's figure out how to control that real quick here. Or this will be a combination of me looking for it and you and also guessing. So here we go. We highlight this. We come over here to the inspector reference, and we go down here and we see that we can put it in looping mode, loop end, loop points, loop report, loop start, and I think what we really want is loop mode. So what we're going to do is make a prepend object in for a new object, prepend loop. And then there are three, I'm just going to save you some time here. There's three loop states for JIT movie. 0 will make it just act normal, goes from beginning to end. 1 will make it loop, and 2 will make it palindrome. So prepend loop, and then all we need is some radio buttons. New radio group. No, what did I do here? There we go, radio group. And then we just have to make it 3 buttons instead of 2. That would be in the inspector. And we come on down here, number of items 2. We double click on that, put in a 3. Now we're back, 3 of these. We'll write a comment so we can remember what on earth this is about. No loop. Loop. Palindrome. That works out nicely, I think. And let's just see if it works, because you never know. All right, so there we go. Loop. Can never remember where the end of this movie is. So it'd be actually better to see no loop, and then we'll know where the end of the movie is. It should just stop. I think it stopped. There it is. It stopped. See, no chickens. Now we have to hit play again. So we're going to hit play, and here come the chickens, and we'll put it in palindrome this time. I'm pretty sure this is working. I have done this before. So let's see. That chicken goes by, and then does it go backwards here? Yeah, it sure does. So we're palindroming. This will all actually be very clear what we're doing in a little tiny bit. I'm going to take this and put it up top here because it's another control. And I'm going to move this over closer to the JIT movie. And then, since we're looping, as you can probably guess, we can do some fun stuff with where the minimum and maximum points are on the loop. But to do that, we have to be able to ask JIT movie a question and say, what is it? Is it duration? Duration? Let's just try. No, it's not. No. I remember. It's so obvious. Obvious as, what do they say? The nose on my face, which you can't see, but it's obvious. Get duration, just like get movie path. Get duration. Lock our patch and see what it says. Duration, 1138. This is in milliseconds, so 113,000. No, 1,138,000 milliseconds, and since that essentially means wow, that seems so high. It's amazing. But I guess it just really comes out to being about, it doesn't seem like 1100 seconds, does it? It's definitely not. Interesting. Well, we'll assume it's right for the moment. So when you say get duration, this comes out. And now we know that we also need to ask it another thing, which is what time you got. And get time. And whoops, I locked my patcher before I made a patch cord. So there we go, get time. So at this particular point, it's 878,000 milliseconds. I'm just doing my math all wrong or something. It just seems so high. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so at any given time, if we're saying get time, we can see where this thing is, and we can see when the movie goes forward and backward. Like right now, it's counting downward. We're at 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it's in palindrome, so it'll start going forward again when there it goes, starts forward again. So we're going to have to do this automatically somehow. So what we can do with this is make a trigger object that says get time all the time. So trigger get time, and then also bang, because you have to bang the on jit.movie for it to spit out a frame. So every time you want to spit out a frame, you have to hit a bang, and then you say get time every time you want this thing to count forward. So I'm going to just push my shift key down and see if I can get this to intermingle here. It's trying to intermingle with the wrong one. Oh, I almost got it. No, we just won't do it. I'm not willing to take the chance. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way and reconnect it. Oh, and then the bang comes out here too. First the bang, then the get time, and they go right on in there. And now we can see the clock running because it's asking for a get time every single time we do this. So what we need is a way to route these two things so that we can find out how big is the movie and what time is it. So we have a device for doing that, and it's called route. And we say if something comes out and it says time, then go out this chute, and if it says duration, as the other one said before, if you recall, so I figure if I hook this up to time, there. Do you follow why it does that? And then if I make another one of these and put it over here and say this one's for duration, I know it looks like it's time, but it's not. So if it matches duration, it will come out here. And notice that nothing's happening until I say get duration, and there's the duration. Now, why would I want to know this? Well, if we make another slider, unlocking our patcher and make another slider. Oops. There. Here's our slider. And when we get the duration that comes out as this number, what we do is we say, what do we say? We say prepend. So we type an N for a new object and type prepend space size. And that will tell this slider how big to be. And then this one will tell it where the pointer's supposed to be. So I'm going to say, go ahead and get duration before I hook this up, because I don't want it to just start counting like that, because this thing only goes to 127. So get duration. And now we're going to hook this up to this little thing here. And now we have something that tells us where we are in the film. Is that nice? It would be even nicer, I think, if this thing was, let's see, if the background color was completely clear and the this was a weird color of green. Why can't I, Oh, because I have the opacity at 0% again. Oh, that's the background color. Sorry. So the background color, we're going to leave that, and then the on color, we're going to make that green. No. There we go. There. But we're going to make it 100% green. Come on. Oh, I give up. There we go. Green. And then we change the type of indicator it is to from indicator plus to regular indicator. And then, you ready for the coup d'etat here? We do this. So now we have a nice little green line that's traveling back and forth and telling us where we are in the film. Fantastic, right? I kind of think so. But we don't need to stop there. We can make it even more beautiful, which is we can make two more sliders. Slider. That will also get the same size. Here, I'm just going to duplicate that and duplicate that. So I'm going to say get duration so that these end up being the same size. And now these can tell this thing where to start and stop looping. And we can do that by looking at the reference for this and saying we're going to look for the loop points. Movie loop point start and loop end. There we go. So loop start and loop end are our prepend objects. So I'm going to type here. We have a prepend here, so why not just use it twice? Loop start and loop end. All right. So whatever this one spits out, that's going to be the end of the loop, and whatever this one spits out, and whatever this one here spits out, that is going to be the beginning of the loop. Whoop. Come on. No, don't go there. up here to jit.movie. Okay, so make sure these both go up here to jit.movie. Okay, great. So now we do want to tell them get duration, so that sets the size of these, and then we should be what's going on here? And then let's just give this thing like some loop points that we'll be able to see. Well, let's go ahead. Let's just go ahead and move these over to here, and that way they'll synchronize exactly spatially with this if they're the same length. Okay, here we go. Locking our patcher and hitting play. Wow, it worked better than I could have imagined. So, boing, 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 loop, palindrome. Look at that, people. Are we cool? We are cool. We're pretty darn cool. All right. Now, there is one other thing that I've had happen before, and that is if you put a new movie. Oh, so every time we change the movie, we have to say get duration. We just put the get time in the this is in here, so we don't need get time anymore, right? Get time, we can delete that. But get duration, after this thing reads the movie, then it has to get the duration for the sliders. But sometimes I have noticed that it takes just a millisecond for the movie to load. So when this thing loads a movie, when this thing does anything, I'm going to put a little delay on here and just say, well, I don't want this to do anything weird. What I want it to do is read this and then hit. Always tricky to get stuff to do what you want. But let's just say we'll use the trigger object, being careful again, trigger bang, right? Because we know that always will work. And then we're going to stick a little thing on here called a delay. Type N and then just type delay. 50 is a lot of milliseconds, but sure, why not? Delay 50 milliseconds and then get the duration. Because if you do it too quick, it might not work, right? You can tell I've done this before. I have. So let's go get the dozer here. And then, yeah, see, these things are all of a sudden up at the top because the duration is so much shorter for this. So now we need new loop points that are somewhere else, right? Because it still has the same loop points in it. It's still, yeah. So let's see what happens when we play this. Well, it still works pretty darn well. I'll give it that. What about backwards? Now, if we were really cool, we'd be able to figure out how to make this so that it's some percentage of the size of the duration that sets the loop points. But those are for the professional jobs, right? So let me just, I don't know, honestly. I think we've got this, we can do everything here, and I think we're just going to call it success for this video. Let's see if we can find some other nice chickens blading. Oh, basketball, why not? And then we've got all of basketball. I'm just making sure everything's okay. So there it is. It is palindroming. And there it is, at 3 times the speed. Oh, just so confusing. Nice. All right, well, let's call it success, and we will figure out how to doll this baby up in the next video, and we'll call that the fancy TV tutorial. So I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Patch well.